must be understood that what is mentioned in the preamble is the key to the Constitution, is the key to the whole life. There is no way that a preamble can be changed. When preamble says that India is a secular state, there is no Mr. Modi's government, there is no Modi Congress, any government which can change the word secularism from the Constitution, because that's the mandate of the people. And the people are supreme much more than anybody else. Now what does secularism mean? First, there are any number of rights which are given to us by the Constitution. Article 14 talks of equality, especially for the minorities. Their religion is safe. They can have their minority educational institutions. These are all rights which are specially given to the minorities and which are a part of basic structure. Secularism is such a part of basic structure that if you will recollect that in the previous NDA government, when unfortunately Babri Masjid tragedy took place, the matter went to the Supreme Court, and there were 9 states which had been properly elected before were ordered to be dismissed. One of them was state of Karnataka. State of Karnataka, there had been no such, frankly, basically communal thing, because there were the other things. But because it was associated with BJP, even though no incident had taken in state of Karnataka was dismissed by a judgment of which our Chief Justice MD was a brilliant member of the team. The Supreme Court, by 9 judges' judgment, without a single dissent, held that violation of secularism by any state government does not permit it to continue, and they exercise their power to dismiss the state governments, though broadly they had been elected by millions of people. So the violation of the constitutional preamble of secularism will not permit a state government to say, I've got a majority. In reality, the present government has hardly got 31%, probably the lowest that any government has had till now. 31% of the whole people. What are we panicking about? What are we afraid about? 31% of the people, 69% against, and of 31% people who haven't any sense of proportion, and we see what they are thinking of this line, what they can do about it. Now, and please remember, not only the constitutional, that's one part of it. I mean, with all respect, I respect the court and the constitution, but the people's wrath, people's anger, people's strength is too great for any transit government here to tell us what my religion is, what Ghar Wapas is, what Shuddhi is, and what kind of a state or the economy that they wish to bring. We are the people who has to decide this. Now, I do not say, as it is known, secularism does not, of course, mean, I mean, to people like me, I always thought when we were talking of secularism, I was very happy, because, to be very honest, I don't know much about religion. But as Mr. Radhakrishnan said, secularism does not signify being anti-religious. In India, people fervently believe in their respective religions, and overwhelming number of persons of all communities give equal respect to the religion of others. Secularism signifies giving equal dignity and respect to all religions. Of course, it goes without saying that the Indian state has no religion of its own, nor for that matter can any religion claim superiority of another religion by resorting to a false premise that any religion in the country is indigenous while others are foreigners. This is hearsay not permitted by our constitution, which gives equal reverence to all the religions practiced by various communities of India. And the Supreme Court has also said that the concept of secularism is that the states will have no religion of its own. asked many of my Muslim friends, the Holy Prophet said, Arab has no precedence over a non-Arab, a white over a black. I said, it seemed obvious that he was an Arab, and he has the greatness and wit to say, even a non-Arab has no precedence over Arab. Why did the Prophet say, white has no precedence over the black? Any young man, could you tell me? May I hazard a guess? Arabs or white? There was slavery which had been brought in Arab by them. Slaves are black. And the Holy Prophet was saying in the 6th century that whites have no supremacy over the black. A fight which America fought in the 18th century. 12 centuries before, the Holy Prophet propounded a series that blacks who were their slaves, you can't even have passage over. This was the total sense of equality that prevailed in Islam 600 years. About 1,000 or so, we always talk of the Civil War in America, or getting rid of the Afro-Americans, the slavery. It never succeeded only partly here. But the Prophet's message was given in the 6th century. Swami Vivekananda, whom I take it, even the die-hard, intellectuals of course believe in him, but at least even the die-hard Hindus will not deny that he was the exponent of Hinduism. Anybody who tries to tell us that Vivekananda did not understand what Hinduism means, at least I don't think there would be any most die-hard Hindu also who would say so. Now this is what he said, it's a one page of it, I think it's worth repeating. You know, Advaitism in Hindu philosophy means that because in Hindu we have so many gods, etc. So Advaitism came in philosophy which said there's only just one God, one power. And he says whether we call it Vedantism or any ism, the truth of Advaitism is that the word of religion and thought and the only position from which can look upon all religions and sects with love. I believe it is a religion of future enlightened humanity. The Hindus may get the credit for arriving at it earlier than other races, they being an older race than either the Hebrew or the Arabs. Yet practical Advaitism, which looks upon and believes in all mankind as one's own soul, was never developed amongst Hindus. And note the next paragraph. On the other hand, my experience is, if ever any religion approaches to this equality in any appreciable manner, it is Islam and Islam alone. I am firmly persuaded. Now this is a letter which he wrote in 1898 to his friend Malik Sarfraz Hassan, his Muslim friend. And Swami Vivekananda says, I am firmly persuaded that without the help of practical Islam, theories of Vedantism, however fine and wonderful they may be, are entirely valueless to the vast mankind. We want to lead mankind to a place where there is neither Vedas, Bible, yet this has to be done by harmonizing Vedas, the Bible and Quran. Mankind ought to be taught that religions are but the varied expression of the religion, which is oneness, so that each may choose the path that suits him best. For our own motherland, a junction of the great system Hinduism and Islam is the only hope. I see in my eyes the future of perfect India rising out of this chaos and strife, glorious and invincible, with the Vedanta brain in this now. Why are the minorities given certain rights, and why is certain targeted activities based on the minorities? Now let me make it clear that minorities, the test of any civilized state is whether the minorities feel that they are getting an equal treatment or not. Lord Acton said everywhere, the test of any civilized state is, do the minorities feel that they are equal, get equal respect, equal privilege, equal opportunities. Leave apart the legislation part. Now even UN has said in its Human Rights Council Forum as early as 2010, and this is what they say: the rights of minorities to participate effectively in economic life must be fully taken into account by any government seeking to promote equality at every level. From implementing non-discrimination in unemployment and enforcing protection of laws to the private sector to developing national economic development and international development assistance schemes. Government can consider both targeted and inclusive approaches to addressing the economic and social exclusion of minorities. I am emphasizing this word, the targeted ones, because what they said is, well, everybody is poor, so therefore why are you giving scholarships to not equally to all? The UN Human Rights Forum is saying, minorities, you have to target the minorities to give them a feel that though you may be numerically minority, but in all respects, you have not only certain equal rights, but in certain way, because of your backwardness, a higher rights, a targeted rights.